This is the story of how I met and married a man 25 years my junior. Oh, spill the tea, bitch. So in 2011, I had just gotten out of a very bad relationship. It was a painful situation, and I was financially devastated as a result. So I was in no hurry to be getting back on the dating scene. I needed to take most of that next year to just get my financial house in order and get back on my feet. And so in 2012, I started going on the dating apps again and went on actual dates. One guy was a real Jekyll Hyde. We had lunch together and he was delightful. And like 2 days later, I called him to see if he wanted to go out again. And his response was, "Why are you calling me at this number? I'm with my family." I said, "Okay, don't worry. Have a good one." Family parents, family wife and kids. Another one was a former actor. Ugh, I know, I should have known better. But he spent the first part of dinner telling me that he absolutely did not have a drinking problem. Did I say you did? And then he proceeded to order himself a bottle of wine. "Yes, I'll have a bottle of your best Burgundy, and Alan, what are you going to have?" It was all just a whole lot of nothing. I realized that none of this was really for me. And then I got a nice email from this very attractive man who lived in Colorado. The problem was he was 25 years younger than I was. He was 24, I was 49. And so to me, it was a non starter. It was a very sweet note, but I wrote him back and I said, "I'm so flattered, but really, there's not going to be any kind of a connection here because you're way too young and you live way too far away." And his response to that was, "Well, but you seem like a nice guy. I like the profile that you wrote, and I'd like to get to know you as a person. Is it okay if we can just be friends?" And I thought, yeah, why not? I mean, being friends is fine. Plus, I figured, we would run out of things to talk about after one or two conversations, and that would be it. No harm, no foul. But this guy was fantastic. His name was Josh, and he could keep up with me and everything that I talked about, my references that I didn't think he would understand. He was right there. He got it all. And I surprisingly understood what he was talking about. That was my big worry, was that the communication wouldn't be there for us. But we just kept finding reasons to talk every single day. And then we started Skyping. And this went on for quite a while. And I, having had these other bad experiences, I was in no hurry to go off on a physical date with somebody that was going to be a Jekyll and Hyde or a secret drunk. So I was happy to just keep Skyping with Josh. After a year of talking, he finally says, "I want to come and visit you in New York." And so he made the trip, and we had a magnificent time. And then a few months after that, I was in Chicago doing a pre-Broadway run of a show that we were bringing into New York, and he came to visit me there. And our compatibility was so wonderful, and the age thing just didn't even matter. I mean, I was sort of afraid of telling my friends, about the age difference, but I don't know why I worried. I guess I was just scared of people teasing me, old man going out with a young guy. But eventually, when I started telling my friends and my family, that wasn't their response at all. They said, "Well, I'm thrilled that you have found somebody that you connect with." And after about a year and a half of this kind of dating, he decided he wanted to leave Colorado behind and move to New York to be with me. And that was both thrilling and terrifying. I was responsible for somebody giving up their life and moving east. That was a little scary, but like everything else, it just unfolded so naturally. And so in the fall of 2015, he moved in with me, and not several, 9 years later, actually, 8 years later, we got married. 7 years later, we got married. My math sucks. And I'll tell you about that on a separate video because the wedding was magnificent and so perfect. And I'll tell you about the proposal too, because that has its own special story. And one thing that we constantly run into is people mistaking us for father and son, which we, of course, love and find hilarious. And Josh is always saying things like, we should make out in front of them. One day we were at lunch at one of our local restaurants here, and I got up to use the restroom, and the waitress came by the table to drop off the check, and she asked Josh, "So is that your father or your grandfather?" I was like, "Oh no, you didn't. No." But fortunately, it is something we both have a sense of humor about. And I don't care. I have met the person who is the perfect partner for me and who is there for me 110%. And I'm glad that we found each other, even though for me it was much later in life. And what can I say? We have a great time together, always. So thank you for being here. I hope you enjoyed the little photo display that I put out, throughout the video. Just a few of the pictures of us together. And I will see you on the next one. Love you lots. Oh, and I always forget this part. Would you please like, follow, comment, and share this video? I'm a terrible self-promoter, so would you please do that? Do what all the letters up there say. That would mean a lot to me because the algorithm reaches more great people like you. Okay, that was a messy ending, but I don't care. I'm in love. Love you lots. Bye-bye.